Welcome back. We're discussing the crisis in Myanmar, and joining us on the panel is Phil Thornton, Australian journalist and writer, Kin Omar, pro-democracy activist, and Dr. Naing Ong, pro-democracy activist as well. We're seeing a lot of the scenes on our TV screens from citizen witnesses, shall we say, who film it from their mobile phones and then beam it to the rest of the world. But these pictures we're seeing are mainly from Yangon. What are your contexts telling you about what's happening in the rest of Myanmar?
Well, all the images that we have seen on the international media screens are not even covering full of Rangoon yet. It's really the downtown Sule area and the Shwedagon Pagoda area. That's where the major gathering points of all these hundreds of thousands of people marching on the streets. And also all these Buddhist monks, the monasteries being raided. There are no footages of what really happened to those Buddhist monks, except a few scenes that we have seen from this particular monastery called Ngui Jayan. There are a number of other monasteries being raided.
Phil, are you hearing the same thing as well?
Yeah, there's a crackdown and the monks have now been targeted. And the further you are away from the technology, the harsher the crackdown. But once it gets dark, you know, we're not getting too much witness stuff, and we've heard that prominent activists, their homes have been thrashed, they've been dragged out of the streets, their family harassed. So people say they fear the night. They say the night time is a time of fear.
Kin Omar, how much has the internet or how much has technology contributed to the traction of this uprising, particularly compared to the 1988 uprising, which you were involved in?
A lot, quite a lot. I mean, the technology really contributed a lot to let the whole world know of what's really happened, what happened, and what's really happening. Because back in '88, really, we were, shot and killed and gunned down on the streets. They're full of bodies in the Rangoon General Hospital. Full of blood everywhere, and nobody knew. Nobody outside world has had a chance to see it. But now, once things immediately happening on the ground, because of the technology that people are able to, they have access to, and they're able to send out the images and the information immediately.
Phil, a little earlier on, just before we threw to the break, you said that the Western world must do more for the people of Myanmar. Now, there have been sanctions on Myanmar for decades now, and yet we've seen other countries, we've seen private companies being able to circumvent these bans and engage Myanmar in commercial trading. Now, what would it take for, let's say, trading partners like China or maybe even ASEAN? What would it take for them to cut off all ties with the military government?
Well, I think the cant and the hypocrisy that's come out of the countries is phenomenal. Malaysia back in 2002, Mahathir was saying stronger steps have got to be taken. Yet Petronas, the national petroleum company, was making billions out of Burma. The same can be duplicated. Australia has its interest there in petroleum. India has the same. India's silence has been stark. I mean, we're talking about the home of Gandhi. And what India is delivering is dismal. In '88, it came out very strongly in support. But it now depends on having some sort of niche in Burma where it gets petrol and gas. China is the same. America in the past has got oil out of Burma. So they've got to put aside their trade differences, be stronger. It hasn't stopped them sending peace forces into Darfur, Somalia, Ethiopia, Rwanda, even though Rwanda was very, very late. They can invade countries when they feel like it. When they've done it plenty in the last decade. So a peace force in Burma.
All right, Phil, but you are talking from someone who doesn't come from Myanmar, though. Dr. Naing, would you like to see foreign troops invade Myanmar to get rid of the regime that's in place now?
The thing is that our people are peacefully demonstrating and expressing their wish. But I feel sometimes that when they need the help, then they seem helpless. So they are just live in the situation that the thugs and armies are violently cracked down. So in that sense, we want somebody come and establish the peace. So, but basically, sometimes I know that it's difficult, but sometimes what we think that where is the peacekeeping troops?
Well, let's talk about the state of the opposition. You both are not in Myanmar. You're in Thailand, but you're both pro-democracy activists. The state of the opposition right now, should there be a regime change, is there someone who is ready and prepared to step into the vacuum and fill in that political vacuum?
The difference from the 88 at present is we have a political leadership, which is Aung San Suu Kyi and NLD, and the other political parties, which are also a lot of the ethnic parties, and also there are the strong the ASI movement outside the country. So I think that if there is a transition, I think that there are the people who can fit in that vacuum.
But Khin Aung, let me just put this question to you. Aung San Suu Kyi, pro-democracy activist, renowned worldwide and extremely respected, but she has not been tested as a political leader. How would she go running a country?
Well, we have no doubt, I have no doubt, she is ready for that. She's been ready for that for all these years. And she's not the only one. She has all the people and also the allies, like the ethnic nationalities leaders, and also the party, the National League for Democracy Party's leaders, and also the elected MPs from the 1990 elections. Yes, of course, I mean, the 1990 elections was the first election since really ever since the first election after the independence. So the people of Burma who've been elected will probably still need to really experience being in the office. But are they ready? Yes, they are ready. They've been ready forever. And when the time comes, under the leadership of Aung San Suu Kyi and all the ethnic nationalities leaders, we are ready to go for it. Rebuilding of our country.
Phil, we've got the NLD, we've got Aung San Suu Kyi, as Kim Aung said, that they're ready to go. Are the ethnic minorities just as united? Will they unite with the NLD and go forward and push for democracy as well?
I think they're shown that they're willing. They've embraced all aspects of the opposition movements. They've been part of the Democratic Alliance of Burma, the NCGUB, which is another alliance of government ministers. So they've shown their goodwill already. As far as somebody being, as the opposition being ready, they're much more ready than the generals. The generals have driven the country down into a basket case. The chat, for example, the currency in Burma, officially is worth 6 chat to the US dollar. Unofficially, it's 1,400 chat. It's a narco economy, as I said before. It traffics in people. It has no control on communicable diseases, so it's a threat to its neighbours. So it's an international problem. There's 150,000 refugees in Thailand alone. There's probably 2 million economic migrants, and they've got 500,000 displaced people inside Burma. So their track record of running the country is chronically bad.
Just final words now. Dr. Nang, we're on the brink of potential change in Myanmar. Looking forward, what would you like to see?
We all believe that this is the beginning of the end of the military rule. But at the same time that we need the international support as well. And we want the military regime to be condemned and punished by the international community, and by saying that we are not only with you, we support you, but basically also the international business people that we would like to ask the question that, do you want to be part of this crime, or you want to stay with the justice and people of Burma?
That's all the time we have for this edition of 101 East. My thanks to our guests today, Dr. Nang, pro-democracy activist, Dr. Khin Aung, also pro-democracy activist, and Phil Thornton, Australian journalist and writer. From the 101 East team, thanks for watching. Join us again next week.